Hello YouTube. In my last video we discussed on how to code lists in HTML5. In this video we will discuss on how to code input in HTML5. Before starting the video we will extend the commenting to the end of DL tag. Now we'll start with the input. Input tag is used to take the input from the user. Like input can be taken of like input of text, checkbox, color, date, email, input type image, input type radio buttons, input type password, input type range, input type searching of items, input type URL, input type time, input type week, input type image. Right, we'll look on to one by one things, guys. We'll look on to one by one. Starting we'll look at this input type text. See, input type button, checkbox, color, date time, date local, email, file, hidden, image, month, number, password, radio, range, reset, search, submit, telephone, TL, text, time, URL, week. Guys, right, we'll start with input type text and we will code it like this, right? Wait, yes, there's something wrong. Let me look onto it. Wait guys, wait, something that is wrong. It's perfect. Input type text. Input buttons, we'll give it as input types heading h1, input types, and we will name this as input types can be named with the label tag. In fact, can be named with the label tag. We'll use label tag for this. Label is to name the input input type text, input type text. We'll save it and we'll refresh the page. Input types, input type text. This is a field, this is the input field where you can type text, right? Input type text. We look on to major input types now, like text, checkbox, button, email, password. Right guys, we'll copy and paste this here, and input type. Next we will look on to input type password and we will change it as password. Refresh. Input type password to be coded with the bullet points. The password whatever you type will be hidden, right guys? This is the input type password. Now this is the input type email. Third one we will look on to is input type email. Refresh the page. Input type email abc@gmail.com. This is input type for email, right guys? Next thing we'll look on to is input type number. Input type number. number. Input type number. Here you can only type numbers. You cannot type text here. You can only type numbers. You can also increase the value of number and decrease the value of number. Right guys? Now we will look on to radio buttons. Input type radio. We'll copy paste input type radio. Input type radio. You will refresh the page now. Input type radio. For input type radio, you get a round circle. This is for choosing, like choose between gender, male or female. These radio buttons are used in those cases, like choose genders, male or female, or other gender, or choose your class, like A, B, C. Choose any one of them. Choose any one of the options. Multiple choice options. These radio buttons are used there. Now we will look on to input type button. Input type button. Yeah, this is the input type button. You can give a name for this button as you can give it after the input tag as press here. Sorry. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you get as value. Press here. Input type button, value, press here. Refresh. Yeah. This is the name of the button will be press here. For naming the buttons, we can use value property. Now, input type submit. Input type submit is same like the input type button. Input type submit is used while you're coding forms, login forms, sign up forms. When you're coding login forms and sign up forms, you can use input type button. Input type submit. Input type submit. Same. You will change, you will rename it as submit. Right guys? Input type submit. Now we will code input type file. Input type file. You will erase this value from here. Let's refresh the page. Yeah, input type file. For input type file, you can choose file. No file chooser. Choose file. Input type file means user has to consider input as a file. When you click on choose file, yeah, you got to choose any file here, right guys? Which editor is best? You can choose any file, right guys? Like for example, I will choose a file. I will choose it as PLR01. Yeah, whatever the file chosen, the name of the file appears here, right guys? Sorry, okay. Name of the file appears here. If you want to change the file, again you can choose the file and choose whatever the file you want. Name of the file appears here. This input type file is to choose files. Take files as the input. Now input type you look on to is input type reset can be used while coding forms. Like input type reset can be used while you already inputted all, you have given already filled all the input user data and you want to erase all the data, you want to reset the data, then you can use input type reset to reset all the data. Input type reset can be used in those cases. Now we will look on to input type hidden. Input type hidden. Input type hidden. Hidden. We will erase this passive value. Yeah. For input type hidden, no input field will be displayed. Like as the name suggests itself as the hidden name, so the input field will not be displayed on the screen. Since the hidden type is used, input type hidden is used, so input field will not be displayed. Now we look on to input type range. Input type range. Yeah, input type range. To validate it's a range, to set the ranges. You can give values to these ranges, hard coded, right? Now we'll look on to input type weak. Input type weak. Yeah. When it comes to input type weak, you gotta fill the weak. This weak. Yeah. Good guys. Yeah. Calendar will be displayed here. For input type week, a calendar will be displayed. January. I'm gonna choose August, and the year will be, I'm gonna choose is 2020. Yeah. Today is what? Today is 5th August. So week 32. So it displays week 32, right? Week 32. Right guys? This week we are running on week 32 of this year. Week 32 of this year, 2020. Right? Input type week. That's it guys. These are one such major input types what we have looked on now. Like input type text will be maximum used at the most of the times. Input type password most of the times. Input type email, input type number, input type radio, input type submit, input type button, input type file will be used most of the times guys. These are the input type main these are one of those main input types will be used most of the times. Input type range will be also used, but not much. Like guys, you can also use input type, you can also use some other properties in the input tags like placeholder. Placeholder is for giving a hint, like what to type. Like input type text again, placeholder gives us enter username. Enter username. Yeah, see, enter username. This is a placeholder. The placeholder gives us a hint to what to input in the input field. Same for the password, we'll give it as placeholder as enter password. Enter password. Refresh the page. Yeah, see, enter password. Right guys? Now look on to another properties. What is properties? Required. A lot of other properties, read only, required, area read only. We'll just look on to required property now. Required property can be used while you are coding it in the forms. When you use required property in the input field, means the user has to enter the input field compulsory. It's a compulsory for the user to input the user field, to input that field on which the required property has been specified. Like the username is compulsory required, right guys? That's it for the input. Not much. That's it guys. More on this, input can also be styled through IDs and classes. We will look onto this in the further videos, and how to use this input in the forms. We'll look onto this in the further videos. Yeah, another main is input type checkbox. I have not done it right. Okay, input. Wait, I will copy paste. Input type checkbox. Checkbox. Refresh. Yeah, input type checkbox. Like have access to my newsletter, keep me signed in. You can use this checkbox there, right? In the forms. Input type checkbox is done, right? Yes. To choose multiple values, checkbox are used, right? Yeah. That's it for the input guys. How input can be used in HTML5, right? A lot of other properties will also be discussed while coding forms. Right guys, that's it for the video. Thank you. If the video is informative, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the like button and bell button. Thank you.